Hello artists, Mrs. Castle here, and we're going to talk about value scales and gradations with charcoal. And I've got some pieces of charcoal in here. Let's see, we have vine charcoal, which is these little round sticks. It's very, very light. And we have big chunks of compressed charcoal, which are heavier, and they're square. They're square one direction, but yeah, they get worn down. And we also have charcoal pencils. So we're gonna learn about using these different kinds of charcoal and when to use them. So first of all, put your name. Please don't use the charcoal to put your name, because the charcoal, as you'll see, kind of rubs off. And put your period. And again, if your name is not on your work, you're gonna get points taken off. Oh, another thing that you're gonna need is one of the kneaded erasers. And I think I showed you these in one of the other videos. These are wonderful. These are excellent for charcoal. The other these white erasers, depends on what you want to erase or what kind of mark with the charcoal you want to erase. But okay, we'll talk about those in a little bit. So I'm going to show you something on a piece of scrap paper. You don't have to do this part. And if you do, please get a piece of scrap paper and don't do it on the back of your work, because the charcoal is very smeary. Okay. Okay, this is a piece of the vine charcoal I was telling you about. And this is the lightest of the charcoal. It does, this is about as dark as it gets. It doesn't get very dark at all. It's the lightest in weight and in darkness value. Okay, this is a charcoal pencil, and it gets pretty dark. And this is a medium one, like a 2B, like same as the pencil, but this, since it's charcoal, it's much darker. And these smear. Okay, that's good for blending, but we'll talk about blending in a little while. And then we have the compressed charcoal, which is like a soft pastel, but it's black. These get the darkest of all. See, if I put it, I'm not pressing hard, and the blackest, this is not at its darkest as dark as the black. Okay, as we move along, we're going to use all three to do our value scales and the gradations in another video. So, and see, they make dust. I'm just kind of tapping it on the back. If you get a bunch of dust, don't blow it off, because we don't want the dust up in the air. And also, you don't want to blow it in the face of your neighbor. That's very rude. So we're just going to take it and shake it on the floor. And that doesn't even get all of the dust off. But don't go like this to get the dust off, because you're going to smear it and you're going to be unhappy. Ask me how I know, because I've forgotten myself, and I have made a mess. And I've got a couple of other tools that you can use to help you out. One is a tissue, and the other one is a blending stump. All right. Okay, blending stumps are tightly rolled up paper, like newspaper. Please don't peel these. That is the most aggravating thing in the world, and you're just wasting it. But anyway, don't unpeel them. If I catch you unpeeling them, that's the last blending stump that you're going to use ever. So, all right. Anyway, this has a little bit of pastel or charcoal on it, and we can just wipe it off a little bit. Yeah, some of the color will still be on it, but it shouldn't smear too bad. And if it does, if there's just a hint of the color in your work, I won't worry about that too much. But if it's really bad, then we'll have to clean it off a little bit better. Do not put water on these to clean them. You're going to ruin it. And then that'll be the last blending stump you use. All right, so that being said, we're going to start with our value scale. And I'm going to start with the vine charcoal. And as usual, very lightly. And you can blend or smear these around a little bit on purpose, which is kind of smoothing it out and blending it to make it look more solid. So I can use my blending stump to do that, but you have to cover everything that you want to have charcoal on it first. You can't just scribble a little bit and expect it to spread. Even the charcoal will only spread so far. Okay, so here's my vine charcoal with my blending stump. And I went over it a little bit more to kind of even it out because it was a little bit darker on this side. Okay. All right. Then next, I'm going to use my charcoal pencil. Some people really can't stand the sound of the charcoal pencil on the paper, or charcoal period on the paper. If you start this and figure out that that's you, I will let you switch to something else. Because some people are not about that scratchiness. Okay. And again, I'm going to use my blending stump. To do my, and I didn't cover it all completely, but I let it have some kind of speckles in it, and then when I blend it a little bit with my blending stump, then it evens out. Okay, now our last one, our darkest one, I'm going to do with the compressed charcoal. Kind of outline. It's hard. I know these pieces are a little bit short. I've got more that we'll replenish our supplies with as we get going. Okay, I've got some dust on there. I'm not going to blow it or brush it. I'm going to shake it off over the floor. Okay, then I'm going to blend this or smooth it out. Sometimes in a draw, when you do an actual drawing, sometimes it's good to have that little bit of texture in there, especially if you want a lighter value. But if you want something darker, it's good to smooth it out and kind of blend it around a little bit. Okay, and that makes more dust. See? So again, shake it on the floor. Okay. And I've got a tissue and I'm just kind of wiping the excess off so I don't mix in the super dark with light again. Okay. There's my 3-step, lightest, medium, darkest. I could go over that again because there are some, light, kind of lighter areas popping up. I could go over it again and make it super dark, but I'm not going to right now. On this one, I may. We'll see. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna say, just like in the graphite. No, I didn't say it in graphite, but I'm going to cross that one out. I did it for the colored pencil. Okay, but all you have to do is the 3 and the 4. If you want to do the 5, I'll give you extra credit. Okay, so I need more steps, so I'm going to try to be extra delicate with my lightest value. And even if you aren't super delicate with it, we can fix it with one of those kneaded erasers. Let's blend it out a little bit and see how light it turns out to be. And even this makes kind of a noise that might be offensive to some people with sensory sensitivities. Okay. That might end up being a little bit dark because this is darker than that one. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Vine charcoal again, but this time, this time I'm gonna press a little bit harder. Let's see how that turns out. Okay, when I was going back and forth, it was making that scritchy noise. So that's a noise that some people, and the vibration. That looks pretty good for a second step. Okay, all right. So, and there's a little bit of dust, so I'm going to shake it off. And I'm going to do my darkest one. I'm going to shake off my dust. And I'm going to blend it, smooth it out. All right, so I'm going to use my charcoal pencil this time. And like I did with the graphite, I'm going to layer up. Now I'm going to blend it, smooth it out. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so to remind you of those, I used Vine on this. I used the pencil, the charcoal pencil, and then I used the compressed. And here I used Vine, but more pressure and more layers, and then the charcoal pencil, and then the compressed. Okay, and I'm going to shake off that dust. Okay. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Okay. They do kind of have a different sort of tint to them. These are warmer, and these two are maybe the pencil's a little cooler, and if we would smudge around the, no, it's cool too. Like the vine charcoal is warmer, I think, because it's actually made of thin sticks that they put it in a kiln and burn it essentially, and then the sticks of charcoal are left, and they don't set it on fire, they bake it until it comes out like charcoal. Maybe that's because it's it's actually made of wood, and then these two are not. I'm not sure exactly what they're made of, but they're not wood. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the 3 and 4 step value scale for charcoal. And oh, one thing I forgot to show you, I'll show you on here. Like I think I showed you with the graphite, you can use the kneaded eraser to lighten. It doesn't really, it erased the smudge very nicely, but it's not always going to remove all of the charcoal. Okay, that's really dark, so I need to mush this around to get it fresh again. And okay, it's kind of, since the compressed charcoal is so dark, it's not going to remove everything. And if you blend with your finger, that's the oil from your skin is going to kind of make it more a part of the paper. So be careful about that. So this doesn't remove everything, it's going to lighten. Okay. The white eraser is going to remove more if you want to like actually remove part of the remove the charcoal. There's still going to be some left on the paper because this stuff is dark. Okay, so those are the different purposes. So if I wanted to clean up fingerprints, I'm going to start with my compressed or my kneaded eraser and start with that to remove any fingerprints or dust. Or if it's too dark, lighten it up. Okay. All right, now we're done. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.